More news now from Norfolk, Suffolk and Essex. A pensioner from Sudbury who was filmed hitting her neighbour with a rolled-up newspaper in a row over a right-of-way has been given a police caution. Images of Valerie Dunningham hitting Luke Waugh were posted on the internet. Mrs Dunningham has been interviewed by police who have issued her with an official caution for assault. Mr Waugh has refused to press charges.
A Norfolk MP claims a public inquiry into the duelling of the A11 between Mildenhall and Thetford will delay the scheme unnecessarily. Christopher Fraser, the Conservative MP for South West Norfolk, raised the concerns in the House of Commons. But Transport Minister and Ipswich MP Chris Mole says the process is moving as fast as it can.
Mr Speaker, the Government is committed to progressing the duelling of the A11 to ensure the people of Norfolk and Norwich have as best possible access to the rest of the country as soon as possible.
People living near a beauty spot near Norwich are unhappy that bins in the area are being removed to save money. 2 litter bins and 1 dog bin have been taken away from the River Wensum at Ringland. The parish council says it was facing a charge of £500 a year to empty the bins and is considering returning them during the summer months.
People from around the region are getting the chance to learn the traditional way to catch eels. They're
being offered an insight into the midnight world of the eel catcher and get a few tasty tidbits into the bargain, as Alpa Patel reports.
A lesson in an age-old tradition.
Now we think that people have been catching eels since Stone Age times.
And it certainly kept the interest of these midnight visitors to Candledyke near Hickling Broad in Norfolk. They were learning about one of the only eel sets left in the world.
And the eel set is not just the net, but it's all the equipment, the pulleys, the chains, the hut, because the eelmen would have been here for a couple of weeks. Coming out in the Broads at a time when you wouldn't normally come out, you don't go for a walk in the night, you don't go for a canoe in the night, but if you come to an event like this, you get to see dusk, you get to see the stars, you get to see barn owls.
Visitors also got the chance to get up close and personal, which, of course, is easier said than done. Then it's time to fry and try. It wasn't exactly to everyone's taste.
You sure?
Come on, you have a bit again. No?
It's quite nice, it's quite tasty.
But most got stuck in.
I think it's surprisingly good and not rubbery. I think I thought it'd be a bit tough and a bit chewy, and it's not. It's quite sort of tender, isn't it?
It's really, really good.
Not a lot is known about eels, and so this event isn't just about educating others. Experts at the Broads Authority hope it will raise their profile and give them a chance to glean an insight into these shy and humble creatures. Alpa Patel, Anglia News.
Never really got on with eels, but my family all love the jellied eels.
Do they? Brave kids, I have to say, trying
Absolutely,
those.
absolutely. National Express train services between Harwich and Manningtree in Essex face continued disruption due to a landslip. It happened on Wednesday night at Wrabness, causing the tracks and the power lines to move. Engineers have been working on the problem, but a normal service may not resume until Monday. Replacement buses are running instead.
Football, and the most asked question in the Championship at the moment is, when will Ipswich end their winless streak?
Meanwhile, Norwich City are hoping to continue their good run of form in League One. With a preview of all our team's games, here's Donovan Blake.
Up goes Mariner. There's Mariner. And Mariner works it in.
An Ipswich Town legend now helping to plot the downfall of his former club. After several years working at New England in the United States, Paul Mariner has now joined the coaching staff at Plymouth. So some added spice to an already crucial game for the Championship's bottom 2, with the situation becoming critical for Roy Keane at Portman Road.
Our run, obviously, over the last 4, 5, 6 games hasn't been too bad, but it's getting the victories. You know, draws are well and good, but it's the victory we need. And as you said, we're obviously going to a team also struggling. So, again, we're looking forward to it, I have to say.
Darren Ferguson's already admitted Peterborough are in a relegation dogfight because of their poor form. They need a break at home to Scunthorpe. The way things are going, Adi Boothroyd's Colchester could be one of the clubs replacing Ipswich and Peterborough from League One. There may be a debate over where Kevin Lisby will be playing his football in January, but he'll definitely be with the U's tomorrow for the visit of Walsall. Fraser Forster's last-minute mistake for Norwich at Leeds on Monday halted their upward surge, but he's expected to resume in goal against Swindon, a real test of his character.
When you make a mistake, it's important how you bounce back from it, and I'm sure he will, and from now and later years in his own career, so it's how you handle a mistake.
That leaves Southend, who will have midfielder Anthony Grant playing in defence again because of mounting injuries when they visit Carlisle. Donovan Blake, Anglia News.
And some of our region's non-league clubs are aiming to reach the main FA Cup draw this weekend. Histon, Lowestoft and Bury Town have away ties tomorrow, while Chelmsford City are at home. Cambridge play on Sunday. And the draw for the first round proper is live on ITV1 on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Now, when the Second World War broke out, our East Anglian coastline was under threat of invasion. To combat that, a massive building campaign was launched to defend the coast.
Next year will be the 70th anniversary, and to mark the occasion, a team from the University of East Anglia has launched a website recreating the wartime defences around the Suffolk village of Walberswick. Malcolm Robertson reports.
The beauty of autumn along the Suffolk coast. How different this peace and tranquillity to the fervour and frantic activity that would have taken place here almost 70 years ago.
For instance, the speed with which they built these anti-tank cubes because there were fears that large numbers of German tanks would land on the beach just a few yards from here.
This was just a small part of one of the largest construction projects in British history. A project that's now featured on a website created by a team at the University of East Anglia. Historian Rob Lydiard is behind it, looking at the significance of the Suffolk coast as it came under threat from invasion in 1940. It features virtual reality videos of how the area around Southwold was transformed.
Certainly the military in 1940 are very much aware of the fact that this is a vulnerable coastline, and they put a great deal of effort into making sure that certainly parts of Suffolk could be heavily defended. Many hundreds of civilians, not just military personnel, were actually used to build these coastal defences. There was a great effort right across the country.
It's an interpretation of local historical and archaeological evidence, so it's pretty much an accurate assessment of the military landscape at the time.
Most of the defences would have been cleared after 1945, but some, like this pillbox, remain, and the website gives a fascinating insight into the sort of work that would have gone on in here.
You're taken into all kinds of areas where soldiers were ready for action in case of invasion.
This is the other end of the field telephone from our observers who are overlooking the coast, and if we go in there, here's their little dugout. That's the other end of the field telephone, and all the information is being relayed back to the command post. Here are the commanders with their maps and their plotting table, and they are shouting their orders to the guns that are just outside.
The university hopes this will be useful for history or geography students and is keen to hear from anyone with memories of these defence measures in the 40s so they can build up the website ahead of next year's anniversary. Malcolm Robertson, Anglia News, Suffolk.